it's time to party, we will party hard.
What's going on, everyone? It's the Sticks and Beers podcast. It's your boy Bobby D, joined with Tyler Hickey.
Sup?
We got Dad Kyle Hiscock over here.
In Greg form. Hey, how are ya?
Speaking of Greg, no Greg.
Where's Greg?
Yeah, there's no Greg.
Who?
Tonight.
Who
Cares?
Wow, got him. Let's kill the music.
He's got me with that so many times. It feels good.
It was
feels so good to get him
Imagine
back on
just
that.
living in college when like everyone is trying to get everyone with that. So you're just like always cautious with what you're saying.
That was really popular in college.
Just with like our team.
Oh,
We
okay.
would just always ask who questions and stuff like that.
Christ.
I would kill somebody if I heard that on a daily
Zing
basis.
someone back. I lived with a guy who like started it. It was frustrating, but it was pretty funny when you got someone. Just let it die down, and then you bring it back like a month
Oh
later.
my
You go, I fucking got you, bastard. Guys, second round's over. We're about 2 games into the conference finals between Winnipeg and Vegas, who are on tonight. Washington's up 2-0 against Tampa. Quite a surprise. We'll get there. But first, we're going to recap the second round, catch you guys up since we haven't been able to pod in a couple weeks, really. We're busy folks. We all got lives. Grad school, realtor, college student, full-time worker, men's league superstar,
And coach.
And coach. And coach.
local-
How come Tyler gets all these titles? What the hell?
He does a lot of stuff. He's a busy guy. But you
busy
know
guy.
what? He puts the podcast up there.
I
I wouldn't say it first,
Well,
but it's a priority.
it definitely is more than at least Greg. At least it's a priority over his.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
this,
you
this is
know,
what I do.
Doesn't surprise
I
me.
like to talk to hockey, and just play the puck, talk to hockey, drink a couple beers, and bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, speaking of beers, Tyler has been basically our sponsorship guy for the podcast. It's been fantastic. Tell us about this new relationship that we got going on. What beers that we're drinking.
Oh, okay.
And, just let him have it.
Just reach over here and grab the bottle. So, hopped and brewed sauce made by our friends over at Coach Tony's. I gotta give thanks to Val hooking us up a little bit. They sent us a jar of their buffalo sauce. We loved it, by the way. It is great.
It's almost gone.
Yeah, I used a lot of it. I did a little slow clicker action. I did a little marination, and then on the grill with the chicken. So, yeah, sorry, guys.
Maybe we can have a few more and have a hopped and brewed / Coach Tony's sponsorship at the Nice Box. Now, Sticks and Beers Summer Barbecue. Wow. What do we think about that?
I think that would be a
Do they
great.
do a barbecue sauce?
Yeah, I don't know. They have
Yeah.
4 sauces. They have the Mihot, the Buffalo, and 2 other ones. I forget.
Do they have a Carolina? I just remember. For some reason, I thought that was on the label. I don't know.
Well, we'll look into it. If they have like a barbecue, though, we can definitely
we'll
do that
definitely
for the pulled
see if
pork.
we can get some more sauces from them. But it's very good. Guys, try it out. It's HOPP''D and symbol BREW''D Sauce Co. Check them out. Twitter, Facebook, online, all spelled that way. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
What about these
that.
beers?
Oh, and always Coach Tony's. Thanks. You're the real deal. And then seeing Bob was being selfish yesterday and asked me to buy them.
Completely forgot about that, by the way.
Wow.
He's just throwing everyone under the bus tonight.
Everybody's there. We got our Blue Point Brewing Company. The Hop and Humid is a triple dried hop double IPA.
Sounds great.
Sounds delicious.
I think that was all triggered, too, by you guys were over at my house on Saturday night.
We were
and I had
talking about their Hazy
the Hazy
Bastard.
Bastard in the fridge,
And then I was like, I just saw this come out.
and we're going to give it a shot.
Maybe it just came out. I don't know. I just noticed it in the store, though.
Well, let's give her a shot. What do you say, boys?
Yeah. Let's crack them
Sounds
open.
good.
Delicious.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Cheers to a good pod.
Yep, that's delicious.
Yep, love it.
That's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Wow.
Bad?
I always
like,
go into
more
drinking a beer
hoppy.
thinking it's gonna be great. You know,
You're a half glass full guy. Tyler's a half glass empty. I
no.
guess.
Well, in life, I'm why isn't the glass full? I like to ask a lot of questions, but when it comes to beer, I automatically
Why are the
think,
penalties odd?
let's not get into that. Let's not get into that.
That's
I
great.
like with beer, I always set the bar high, because you know what? How many times is beer bad? Really?
It's true.
As long as it's cold,
It's true.
and as long as there's another one, that's the best beer.
True. That's true. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm new to the IPA game still, and I always think that this hoppiness and is really gonna overwhelm me. But I'm still.
People always say if it's too hoppy, it tastes like a pine tree, or it's really
Yeah.
gives you
Yeah,
cotton mouth or whatever. But
Oh, I still get the cotton mouth.
Yeah.
Real bad.
you gotta have just the perfect mixture of hops and
Mm-hmm.
all the good stuff. So
Yeah, it's true.
So let's just do a quick little recap of the second round.
Okay.
Let's all go around, talk about biggest surprise and maybe biggest disappointment. How about that? How does that work? Instead of just
Yeah.
ranting on about stuff.
Yeah.
Tyler, give me your biggest surprise.
Surprise.
Yes. And then
Um,
Kyle, I'm gonna go for you. Disappointment.
okay.
It wasn't really a surprise for me because I picked them, but Jets over Nashville. I mean, it was, even though I said it wasn't going to be, the best series so far in the playoffs, I thought. I mean, even though Winnipeg had a couple lopsided games in there, especially at the end, Game 7, where Pekka just...
Yikes.
Yeah. But 7 games, can't ask for anything more. It was fast. I never realized how fast Kyle Connor was. I haven't really watched him play, but he is wheeling out there.
Him and Ehlers.
Yeah, I knew Ehlers was just a jet, literally a jet on the Jets. But
Wordplay.
I'm playing words there.
yeah,
Pun intended.
yeah, but Connor is just he is filthy. Trifley, he had tied the record for the most goals in a playoff series ever, I think, or something like. He was close.
9, I think.
Yeah, 9 goals. He is the most underrated player.
Got the most goals in the playoffs right now, I think.
Yes, I think so.
12.
As of the start of last night's game, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, Wheeler, all-around captain, big buff, just manhandling people. He
Literally.
if he played like that, I was telling Kyle, if he played like that for a whole season, he would have 3 Norrises.
People would die.
Yes, I want to see him and Reeves go at it, but
It would never happen.
yeah, Buff is too smart. They got into it a little bit last game.
Yeah.
But those are 2 heavies. Do you see Reeves' comments too? By the way.
Yeah, wasn't he chirping him?
Yeah, he's like, oh, so you, the reporter's like, oh, you think Bufflin's the strongest guy out there? He's like, no, I am.
It's not a fair
And then the
trade.
reporter's like, oh, do you think he's a second? He's like, yeah, probably.
Probably.
I mean, think a guy who plays 28 minutes, 27, 28 minutes of ice
Nah,
versus a
he
guy who
doesn't-
plays, what, 7?
He doesn't play that much.
All right, 22?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
And I highly doubt
Yeah.
Ryan Reeves is the strongest guy in the league. Dustin Bufflin is 6'5", 260
yeah.
260 on paper.
on paper.
Come
He's
on.
probably coming in at
But
280.
he doesn't
Tweet.
skate like he's I'm 270, and that guy wheels. I mean, obviously he's a professional athlete, but he's not that slow on the ice.
No,
Once-
none
No,
of the guys
he-
really
He's a
are,
locomotive. Once he gets
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
choo choo, look out, get off
I
the
know.
tracks.
Tuck in the game.
Yep.
Just manhandled him.
I didn't see that.
Uh,
I haven't watched much of
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get in. I'm getting in
well,
the third round a little
much. There's been one game I missed it.
It was a good game. No, after the first 8 minutes, it was a good game. But
Yeah.
Wait, you don't like blowouts?
it was a good game. At the first 8 minutes, they were up 3-0 after 8 minutes, and then Vegas finally got their shit together, and it was a close game for the last
It was a
period,
little
2.5
rough.
periods.
Well, it's the Super Bowl from 2013 or 14 when the Broncos just got absolutely shit pumped by Seattle.
Mhm.
Do you not like those types of games?
I don't.
Really?
Nah. I'd
Or
rather
one-
see it.
bit. Well, unless it's my team that's doing the shit.
Yeah, there you go. I guess
Right.
it's-
Okay.
I'd like to see a closely contested series match, a game.
We're on the edge of your seat and like
Yeah.
big saves, 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s.
It was 3-0, 8 minutes in. I almost wanted to turn it off on Saturday night.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
What's the point of watching it at that point?
There's been a couple
Big
comebacks this playoffs, unlike the other. I was listening. It's just like before the lockout, you could just go up 2 goals and then boom, shut it down, game over.
Hmm.
If you score the first team that would score would win majority of the time.
There wasn't that much parity in the league back then either, which is, I mean, you had your top teams and you had your bottom teams.
Yep.
I can't imagine. I don't think we've ever played with 2-line passing growing up, because I don't think they had that in youth hockey.
No.
That was only like a professional rule, right?
That only lasted for a few years too, didn't it?
No, that was in the league forever.
It was
up until the lockout, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Was it?
I want to say they started it maybe in the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
It was
never mind.
after like the Oilers dynasty.
I didn't think it was more than
between like the Oilers had like set that rule, and then they also before them. When you had a penalty, you could score. It was like a major. You could score as many times, and you had to stay in the box. Now, obviously, they get released because they would just shit pump everybody on the power play.
Goalies were so bad back then. But, I mean, like, I don't know. Let's move on. Yeah.
Disappointment. My disappointment from the first series was Boston. Or the second round, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Boston.
Really?
Up, yeah. I mean, you're up 1-0.
That too.
And, you looked like you were the complete dominating force the first game of that series. They pumped Tampa Bay.
First game.
6-2, I think.
Yep.
It was.
Yeah, 6-2.
And then you come out and you throw a bunch of eggs the next 4.
Yikes. Where'd that first line go?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Pasternak Point. I mean, they had a bad Point. Johnson, Plot had a bad first game, -5. And then they just come back, and then
Braden Point had a 4-point game the next game.
Yeah, and then they're matching up against that first line for Boston pretty much the whole series.
And I think Tuukka got yanked in a couple games, didn't he? Or one of them, one or two of them.
I don't know what he was doing in some of the games either way. Regardless if he didn't get pulled or not, some of those goals that he let in were bad.
Yeah. They weren't.
And Greg wants to keep him.
Tuukka, yeah, he's nuts about that. But
in the regular season, he was one of the best goalies.
Yeah.
That was my biggest disappointment. I thought Boston going into that series would have made it. I thought that was going 6 or 7 all day long.
Me too.
Especially after it went 1-0.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way this is done in 5.
I think I had him going 7 on that.
Yeah. And Boston was what? They were the second best team in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Second best team in the NHL. No, third best team in the NHL.
Fourth.
Yeah.
Nashville, Jets.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think Jets were second.
Were they?
In the league.
But still top 4.
Yeah.
And then just get shit pumped by them in 5 games after it looked like after game 1 that it was going to be a good series. If anything, it looked like it would have been landslide for Boston.
I thought Tampa was going to come back. Now I'm referencing the conference finals. How they got pumped by Washington in the first game. I was like, okay, game 2. It's going to be like that against Boston. We'll see. They're at home.
Shake off the rust again.
Yeah, they only played 5 games in the second round. Blah, blah, blah. Nope.
It looked good for the first 2 periods last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a 2-1 game.
I went up to sleep after it was 2-1 after the second period.
It was 2-1 with about a minute and a half left in the second, and then Washington scored a late one in the second.
Mm-hmm.
No, they scored 2, didn't they?
Was it 3-2 going to the third?
No, it was 4-2, I think.
Really?
No,
I thought it was.
I think they scored 2 goals in the last minute, like in 2 seconds.
Something, and it was 3-2 going into the third.
Either way, I turned it off when it was 2-1.
But yeah, I mean, they were playing good the first period and a half. They looked like the dominant team. Granted, they got a couple lucky bounces. Their 2 power play goals they scored in the first period were pretty lucky, but you need puck luck.
They got a lethal power play.
Yep.
And Tampa just got to do better.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think you can really blame Vaz on a lot of those goals. No. Deflection by Wilson, 2-on-1s.
They're getting Washington's finally getting production from Ovechkin, number 1, but they're also getting production from guys that you never would expect.
Well, that's what we need to win.
You know that
Ellers had
Tom
one
Wilson has their
Wilson.
highest average 5-on-5 points per 60 in the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't think he's on the power play. He's not number 1.
No average.
No.
Yeah, he's
5-on-5.
Strength. Yeah,
even strength points per game.
Yeah, obviously,
saying
skewed a little bit. Yeah.
So he's on the power play, but he plays on the top line with Ovi and Cooch.
Yeah. Coos.
Sorry.
Washington, that series was probably my biggest surprise. because I just don't think they're that good, but they're just winning, and that's like the type of team that like will end up winning the Stanley Cup. When you're just like, oh, they just keep winning, but you're like, how?
Was that your biggest surprise from the second round too?
Yes.
Them against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
the biggest surprise and
That's what I
biggest
mean.
disappointment is Pittsburgh.
Yeah. What are you
Wow.
doing? You're up. They're up 3-2, right?
No, Pittsburgh was up 2-1. No,
And
were they ever up 2-1? I think it was. I know. I think Pittsburgh won game 1, and then it went. I think 2-1. I think Washington, and then
I thought
it was
Washington just
back-to-back.
won the last 2 games too,
So
or was it?
Caps were up
3-1.
2-1,
2-1,
and then Pens
2-2,
tied it, and then
and
Caps won the
3-2.
last 2.
3-2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't as suspenseful. I mean, going into it, I had Pittsburgh winning the whole thing. So yeah, I mean that was a disappointment in that sense. But the only reason I picked Pittsburgh is they won it twice before, and they know
It's
that
an easy pick.
it's an easy pick that they've been there. They know how to win. You don't really want to bet against Sidney Crosby, but
So, like,
obviously you should in this series anyways.
Our guys were saying like that their Pittsburgh's depth was worse this year, which from the previous 2 years when they had obviously Crosby, Malkin, and then they had Benino, Cullen, but they had Broussard and
Benino had
Sheeno.
just as many points through that many games last playoffs with them as Derek Broussard did.
I read
Yes.
something on I don't know,
I
Twitter.
I mean, analysts were just their depth wasn't there. I'm like their depth was there. I would say it was even better.
Phil's on the third line this year. He wasn't on the third line last year, I don't think.
Yeah,
right?
it was. It was.
It was?
Benino, Hagelin, and Kessel. That was their third line.
They were banged up though. I read a bunch of reports
Yeah.
that came out saying that both Kessel and Malkin were playing through injury, and
Yeah, but none of them require surgery. So
no. But I also
bad
read
were they?
Broussard
Injury's
was
an
a
injury.
huge
Yeah.
letdown for them, which I would agree. I mean,
yeah, but he was battling injury too.
exactly. I mean, they were beat up. They were,
Letang is a defensive liability out there. I mean, he's not producing the points like he used to before his concussion and blood clot, but he's still liable defensively out there.
When do we think Pittsburgh is going to have their bounce back like Chicago had this year?
I mean, bounced down or like their terrible year where they missed
Check
the
back
playoffs?
into like reality.
I
mean, they got a good core of guys
yeah.
that are signed for.
I think they still have the depth. I mean, they got to sign. I'm pretty sure that they signed Getzel this year.
Yeah.
I think that's the only really player that needs to be signed. It's still like Chicago. They had their top 2 players, and then they had Keith and Seabrook. Seabrook took hit the fan. He was done. Like Pittsburgh doesn't rely on their defense as much as Chicago did. I mean, yeah, they're important, but none of them are, Seabrook like that old school defenseman.
Right.
They're all still pretty young.
Yep.
They're all decent skaters.
Yeah, Dumoulin,
Yeah, Dumoulin, Mata,
yeah.
Letang, Chad Roweagle. Shout out to former Merc.
And then the only other thing I see with Chicago this year, why they had such a bad year, is Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford too.
I mean, as soon as he went down with whatever the hell he had,
Yeah.
vertigo or whatever the hell they
Yeah.
called it, I don't even know. But as soon
I
as
forgot what they
he went
actually
down,
diagnosed.
that was their season went from bad to really bad really quickly.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's got that goalie. I mean,
Yeah, he was shaky though. That was a big disappointment. He didn't look as good as he has in the past. His glove hand was really off.
Yeah.
And Washington targeted that a lot.
Washington's finally got guys that are stepping up. Though, like Kuznetsov has been unreal in these playoffs.
Absolutely.
unreal.
Absolutely.
So like
this entire year he's been fantastic.
He has
Yeah.
been. He has been.
in the past 10 years though, this is like the worst team they've ever rostered. on
Which
paper.
is
I would agree with that.
less is
because
more.
of
I would
course.
agree with that.
Because of course,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
Yep, I'd agree with
You
that.
just hit your stride and get some depth guys that are just banging away.
Their defense has been
Very good. I would say very
this is probably the best their decore's been throughout that time. I would
playing
probably
wise,
say.
yeah.
John Carlson's been lights out.
Mhm.
Orlov, now that he's back,
Yep.
he is one of the best skating defensemen in the league.
He's
I
shifty.
don't know about his production,
Yeah.
but
He's shifty.
he can get the puck up
plays
the
well.
ice via passing or his feet if need be, better than 80% of the defensemen in the league.
Orpik hasn't looked like he's in cement.
No, but I mean, like once it gets to the playoffs, that's like that style, his thing.
Yeah.
They get the puck in deep, and then he just kicks the shit out of you. He doesn't let people come in front of the net. He clears everything out. He knows his role. He knows he's not fast. He's not like Ben Lovejoy, where he thinks he could still skate, and he can, and then he's just a fucking pylon out there. Brooks Orpik, he's going to give you space. He's probably not that great of an analytics player, like with the puck possession and the Corsi and all that shit, but it's because he's playing a defensive style defenseman.
Yeah, I'm surprised Washington's doing as good as they are this year, but like you said, it's that year where they will thrive and end up.
A part of me
Eventually winning the cup.
does not feel bad at all that they've been so not bad because they made the playoffs like almost every year that Ovechkin's been in the league.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for a team that gets to the playoffs every single year and can't win it all because you've been in the playoffs that many times. So many teams wish they could just make the playoffs. So it's like, sorry, I don't feel bad that you get there and then you just lose every second
Put
round.
up a goose egg and
So just do better. And they've gotten over that hump. Maybe right now they're trajectorying towards the cup. I don't think they can handle a Winnipeg Jets. I think Winnipeg's going to win.
Don't count out the Vegas Knights.
I think
yet.
they're going to
Come
win
on,
again
Take it
tonight.
easy. Take it easy.
Yeah, look who
Take
you're
it easy.
wearing there, pal.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
I thought you were a fan for like 10 years and you were in.
I've liked Vegas for a decade. My hat's in the car. Don't worry. This one's just
okay.
temporary.
What a guy.
All right, so let's move on. We've basically reviewed and recapped enough surprises and disappointments.
So, do you think Tampa comes back?
No,
You think they're done?
I think they might get swept.
Swept.
No. Wow. Although, I mean,
Hot.
Washington won 2
Hot.
on the road.
It hasn't even looked close, except for
Tampa's been good on
the
the
first
road.
half of the second period. That's very true.
I don't think
Very
they come
true.
back, though.
I don't think they come back in a 7-game
That means
series.
they got to
Washington did in the first round.
That's very true.
They got to win 3 on home. They got to win 3 on the road
yeah.
to come back.
Yeah.
It's doable, and they're good enough. They got enough guys.
I don't see it happening.
I don't know. This Washington team. It's just one of those things. It just feels.
But I also feel like they're still like that Washington of old, and then they can just disappear.
Crumble at any
Yeah,
point.
crumble, and then look out. It's the same old Washington Caps. They just made it one round farther.
It's
I
such
mean,
a dummy
that's-
bet, though. Like, that's a bet I wouldn't even touch right now. Even
Yeah,
if the odds
I
were
mean,
good, I wouldn't touch Washington.
I had Tampa in 6.
I would touch Tampa coming back because I think that's more probable. I think it's more probable that Tampa comes back than Washington sweeps.
I would agree with
Oh
that.
yeah.
I would agree with that.
And I would even give it that it goes 5 games. I think it's more probable that Tampa comes back and wins the series than it goes to 5 games. Goes in less than 5. I think it has to go at least 5 games. Tampa's winning one of the next 2. There's no way they get swept.
So what you're
Absolutely.
saying?
Too good.
So if I say 6 wings right now, I'll take Washington in 5, and you have Tampa coming back.
I would never take that, but no.
Well, if neither happens, it's a wash. So Tampa needs to come back
Come
and win in
back.
7.
Okay.
And if Washington wins in 5, you
5 or less?
Yeah.
So if they swept, it would still count?
and then
Or,
if
Tampa,
neither
if
happens,
Tampa wins,
if Washington wins in 7,
Or
wash
6? Or 6?
or 6.
6 wings. Got it.
That's a fun bet. That's a fun bet right
write
there.
it
It's a fun
down.
bet.
Write it
I'll
down.
put it in the
You put it in
notes.
your phone.
Put it in the
Put it in the notes. Put it in the old
little
notes.
red book.
It's on the pod now anyway, so.
It's official.
Now if one of us doesn't pay up, we're just bags of shit. That's all.
Yeah.
We're bags of shit.
Absolutely.
Look for the wing challenge over the summer when we all pay up on our bets. That's gonna be a fun
love
pod.
We're gonna just do an episode where we're just like, okay, we have me versus Drax. I don't even know.
It could just be our season recap, and we'll just
all the
have
hilariously bad bets.
1,000 wings in the middle of us. Or
Greg will have to buy them all anyways because he owes like 1 billion wings right now.
That's true.
Oh my god, we were going through some of his bets the other day, and they're just so bad.
We all have a few bad ones. Greg
I know Greg
takes the
already
cake.
owes me 6. For sure.
We were counting them up one night at my house when you guys weren't there, and
Yeah.
he owes like at one
Was
point
that
we had to, like,
Jeremiah's?
we had to
Wasn't
like, like 80 wings he owed at some point, like a combination. So, sorry, Greg, sucks to suck, pal.
So let's really, because they're playing tonight. Also, we're podcasting. It is Monday, May 14th. Winnipeg plays Vegas tonight.
8:00.
What does Vegas have to do to win on the road tonight? The series, but
Score the first goal.
I would agree. I think to me it comes down to weathering the storm. If they get through even the first 10 minutes of the game with nothing on the board.
Yeah.
Let them settle in a little bit. That's what it was the other night. I mean, they come over.
You have to silence the crowd.
Silence the crowd. I mean, Bufflin comes over the blue line, gets a drop pass a minute into the game the other night, and see you later,
You
nerd.
can't let
Goodbye.
that happen. Oh my gosh.
No, of course you can't let it happen.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like
Everyone flowered.
he couldn't have counted his ABCs with that amount of time.
5
that he
shutouts
had.
the first 2 series.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
give the
can.
guy a break.
Yeah. He had one bad game. Oh, who cares?
Right. They got to weather the storm tonight. If they can go up 1-0 early, or even any time, yeah, I agree. I think that gives them a chance. I don't know how much more you can say. Flower needs to play better because I don't think that's even a realistic thing to say at this point.
I just think this is one of those series where, for the entire season and the first 2 playoff series with Vegas, all we had to say, and the professional analysts out there, not counting us, we just had to say Vegas just needs to get their feet moving. They just need to get their feet moving, and they'll skate circles around whoever they're playing. But this series,
Jets are they
Exactly.
can match their speed.
exactly.
Right.
But they
and then when you
they
match
had
that,
a
they have
high-end
higher,
team.
and that's why I think, as much as Vegas was a great story this year, I completely think they're outmatched against Winnipeg. Winnipeg has been brewing this team for years now. They could have blown it up.
Shovel Day off is
They could have fired their coach last year.
marinated on this team, and he built it right.
Absolutely.
And you had guys like a genius move in Stasny.
Yeah.
No one even knew the guy was on the block at the deadline.
No.
Other teams were like, "Holy shit, Stasny was on the block!" I would have been
He's
giving
been
away. I would have been giving away
fantastic for them.
the whole farm for him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like they had very direct plan. They've had very direct plans for the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And guys like Scheifele are hopefully finally is going to get the recognition the guy deserves.
So last year we talked about me and Greg underrated player of the year. I said Scheifele. He broke out last year, really came into it.
You had 83 points last year.
Something like that. And he had 80. Oh no, he only had like 70 something.
He only
but
played,
he
he
played
played 60
yeah,
games.
yeah,
he
yeah,
played
yeah,
60
yeah.
games this year.
So it's a typical West Coast guy. East Coast doesn't know. We really see him. Like casual hockey fans don't know about him.
If he played for an original 6 team, he would be
Oh my god.
he'd be a top 5 player in the league because of the
Yes.
media.
Yeah.
We play fantasy, and I watch all the Avs games, so I see him play them 4 times a year, 3 times
I
a
love
year.
watching the Jets because
And-
I'm not sleeping come 10:30, 11
Right.
o'clock at night, and if they're on, I'm gonna watch them.
Yeah.
So
Great team.
He's an unreal playmaker. He's like the all around package. Like he's
Yeah.
just the epitome of like an all around
He's a
guy.
big guy.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to mix it up.
two-way.
Score. And then
He's a better version of Patrice Bergeron. I know that's a bold statement, but Patrice is on his decline of his
Yeah.
career because he's
I think
32, 33 years
yeah,
old. So
and Scheifele is. I think he has a little more skill.
is
Definitely
Scheifele 92?
I think so.
He's 25, I think.
I think he's our age.
Yeah, because that's when Winnipeg moved there, and he's a Manitoba kid if I'm not mistaken. They kind of reached on him when they drafted him 7th overall. Everybody's like, oh, but
But didn't he have injuries in juniors or something like that? Didn't he
I think
fuck up his
so.
shoulder?
something like that. And then they sent him back to juniors twice.
Mm-hmm.
Let him build up his confidence, and he comes in and kid's a star now. I mean,
That's why you with Buffalo, don't rush these guys.
Yeah.
Your team's not good.
no.
Let the guys
Buffalo
kill it in juniors.
has mismanaged so many players recently. Myers.
I was say one of the guys
Zadorov.
playing right now in the Western Conference
Yes.
Final, Myers.
Myers, I mean, yeah, he had a great rookie year, but then it was like
He started he was
expectation.
playing like 30 minutes a game. He was playing
Yeah.
ridiculous minutes as a sophomore. At some point, you got to pump the brakes a little bit here.
He
Let
had
him-
to marinate a little bit
Yeah.
more and learn the game a little better. Now he's playing second fiddle,
Correct.
third fiddle, fourth fiddle out in Winnipeg,
Right.
and he's doing great.
I know it's all hindsight, obviously, but like their decor could have been above average if they didn't trade Tyler Myers, if they didn't trade Zadorov. Obviously,
Marinated
they
on
wouldn't have
that a little
gotten
bit.
Ryan O'Reilly. But hindsight 2020, they haven't been good since they've gotten Ryan O'Reilly either.
I say, imagine Zadorov, Myers, Risto, and now
Jake McCabe's a beast too. Like all those guys, that would have been a formidable.
Braden McNabb,
Brady McNabb, he's
Mark Pesic.
you throw Dallin in there. I don't know if they would have been in the position they're in right now.
It's
but...
all this is hindsight 2020, obviously, but they would have been fucking twin towers back there.
Wait, Zadorov led the league in hits this year.
6
Right.
tuplet
So-
towers.
In 2013, when we drafted Risto and Zadorov, everybody's like, we have a righty, we have a lefty.
Yep.
both huge players, and then in 5 years, these guys are gonna be great.
Wait, was that the same round?
Were they
Yeah,
saying-
yeah.
Oh, they were?
It was 8 and 16.
Wow, I didn't realize it.
It was the 16th pick was Minnesota's when we traded Jason Pominville,
Great trade.
and then Risto was our own pick.
And now you got him back. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm so
I
excited
think my
for the
wild
draft
card,
this summer.
my wild card for the series in the West is I do agree with you that the Vegas season, this dream season, is going to come to an end.
Yeah.
But only on one condition, that Hellebuck keeps playing well.
He's been shaky though.
That's my concern.
He's let it in the
That's-
soft goals,
that's my
but
concern.
his team has.
Played well
Back
enough in
him
front
up,
of
yeah.
him.
Correct. That's my concern. If I'm putting 2 goalies on the table right now, and I need one of them to steal
yeah.
a game, and I got Marc-Andre Fleury or Hellebuck, there's no question who I'm picking
Oh,
to steal
yeah.
a game.
Obviously, it's the
And-
guy who's won 3 cups already.
Right. So I'm just he's had a fantastic year. He's a Vezina finalist, but I just don't trust it yet. If he can steal a game or 2 in the series, they're not going to lose. They're not going to lose another. They'll win the cup. I think at this point.
You
if I had
just
to guess.
need a decent goaltending with that team. They can outscore pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a great. I mean, Trouba, Morshi, they're a great shutdown pair. Then you have Bufflin, Edstrom.
Their
And then-
power play is
ridiculous.
equally, if not better, than Tampa's. I mean, you got Wheeler on one side, you got Line on the other, you got Scheifele sitting in the high slot, Bufflin blasting clap bombs there, and then you got Stastny wheeling
In
and
front.
being like the X guy behind the net as the lefty on the umbrella. It's insane
Yes.
how, I mean, true hockey guys and analysts knew about the Jets this year. I predicted them in the beginning of the season. You guys heard that? We went over that in the
Yeah,
little
we did.
season
Yeah, you
recap. I didn't think they were going to be this good, but I mean, especially how Liney's got 3 goals this playoffs,
Yeah. Ehlers has 0.
right? Imagine
Yeah.
if those guys were going
Yeah.
too. Fuck, man, they would have swept everyone. So let's go to the East.
All right.
What does Tampa have to do now, even to make it a series? Because
Win 1 game.
they played.
They
Game-
had
one
to
game
win.
at a time?
They have to win tomorrow.
Absolutely.
One game at a time, one shift at a time, one goal at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Vaz needs to play like first half Vaz. Like you said, you can't blame him for a lot of those goals last
Yeah.
night, but he needs to play like first half Vaz, where he was probably the Vezina
Oh, by
front runner by a
far.
long shot in the first half of the regular
5
season.
shutouts in
Oh,
the
it was
first half
it
of
was
the
ridiculous.
season. Yeah, like under 2 goals against average and like a 940 save percentage. It was ridiculous. I was riding him in fantasy. The whole fucking, I was winning every category because of him, and then he was getting the wins too because the team was stacked.
Yep. They need to win. They need to win tomorrow. If they lose tomorrow, obviously 3-0. Come on, I mean,
Then it's over.
It's only happened 4 times.
yeah, that was
Or
almost
3?
gonna, that was almost going to be my trivia question tonight.
Well, no, Dex already asked me that
Oh,
one.
did
Yeah,
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Good thing I didn't.
got you.
A lot of not analysts, former players who are now on panels. I wouldn't even know if you call them analysts and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but regardless, former players say it's a lot easier in the playoffs, maybe not the regular season because you're missing your family and stuff like that. Obviously, you're missing your family a lot, but in the playoffs, it's easier to set up a routine and just go to the rink when you're on the road. You don't got to worry about
It's all
distractions from
business.
home. It's exactly, and you don't got to worry about coaching matchups because you don't have the last change. Sometimes it's not necessarily easier because you're in another team's building, but everything else besides that is easier. And all you got to do is worry about playing your game. I think Tampa can win this, maybe steal this next game if they ride the point line, the new triplet line. I watched the last game.
Oh, Point Johnson plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every team that they've played against so far in the playoffs has had trouble against them. They're just so freaking fast.
Yeah.
And Washington, I know last game was probably because of matchups because Tampa was home and stuff like that, and they were able to exploit those matchups. But if you sort of just flip their first and second line and have the triplets line be the first line and then just let Trotz try and match up against them and then get Cooch and Stamkos going too, then we could make it a series. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, Stammer's had a couple goals already this series.
He's been heating up. I mean, like,
He's
it's ironic that they're
impressed me.
0-2, but
Well-
he's been playing a lot better this series than he was
Yeah.
last.
He's
Yeah,
impressive.
he was pretty much invisible the first 2 rounds.
Correct, and now he's
Right.
got 2 goals, I think. But Kucherov's been quiet now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that
And-
1 goal called it back.
We won't go there.
Bunch of cheaters.
Bunch of cheaters.
It was like
No.
full 20 seconds they were out there.
Yeah.
What was in the second game?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, but they were getting all the
No,
calls.
no,
No,
out.
it was the
first
first game we were watching
Oh.
at Jerry's, and the too many men at the ice.
Oh,
Or too many men in the ice.
Yep.
They go down, they score with like 3 seconds left. Next thing you know, it goes the other way. Ovi rips a 1-T off the.
see ya. That was
Face
a
off.
bomb.
It goes from a 1-1 game to a 2-0 game, just like that. See you later. Like that's talk about momentum swing.
I mean, well,
Goodbye.
so Caps have done really good things. Both games. They have scored in the last minute of the
Those are
period.
crushing.
Just
Crushing
absolutely
goals.
deflating.
Deflating. Yep.
Deflating.
You go in the room and you got to sit there for 25 minutes just thinking about how you just
20.
let that 20, 25. By the time you get in there, come on.
In college, if we let my junior and senior year, if we let in a goal in the last minute, we would have to do stairs around our entire rink.
Ooh.
The next practice back.
Well deserved, you
I
know.
thought you
Absolutely.
meant, oh,
Well
boys
deserved.
get undressed. You're doing stairs in the middle.
Doing
of
stairs between periods.
Club hockey, you never know. What are these guys doing? Aren't they supposed to be playing a game? We'll be right back.
Ref, we'll be there in a minute. Just, you gotta do some
In
stairs.
full equipment, just take your skates off.
Put the skate
Jesus.
guards on, boys.
Get those little roller
rubber
blades.
ones?
No, the roller blades, and you can just
Oh,
fucking zoom around.
Not Sam Reinhart. And Ryan O'Reilly, all the guys on the Sabres had those.
Oh yeah, in training camp.
Yeah.
And they had because
They're
they had
just
to go
wheeling
to
around.
Harbor Center.
Oh yeah.
Their practice.
Yeah.
They're fucking wheeling around, and
That was
Chad
hilarious.
Johnson's on the one of those like U-boat things, and
I
he's
saw
just
that.
chilling and just wheel them out there, just dump them on the ice.
So let's, probably because this is going to be our last podcast until the Stanley Cup Finals,
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Conference predictions, and then we'll do our West. And then we'll move into your boy Bobby D's trivia, because Greg went over last time.
Yep.
So let me hear your East, Tyler.
So, they started Friday, yeah, right? Yeah, Friday night, I had Tampa in 6 and Winnipeg in 7.
You're sticking with that?
Yes.
So you think they're going to literally sweep the best of 5
Are you
series
sticking
now
that way
that it
because
is
your
now?
pride, or you really think that's gonna happen?
Both.
That's stupid. That was the biggest
mean,
half-ass answer I've ever seen in my life out of Tyler.
If Greg was here and I changed my answer, he would rip me apart.
oh well, he's gonna do that
I'm gonna
anyway.
stay by it though. You know what? I like Tampa. They were my. Wait, no, they were. All right, so I have 2 picks left from my original bracket: Jets and Tampa. So I'm riding them on the East now.
And you said the Jets 7.
Jets in 7.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously the easy pick is Washington. They're up 2-0. That's who I'm gonna go with, and I'm gonna stick with my Golden Knights, man.
Sucker.
I'm sticking with my Golden Knights in 7. I'm riding them
Number
hard.
1 fan here in Rochester, New York.
Been for a decade, man. They didn't even know it.
In 3 years,
Babo.
you're gonna be a Seattle fan too. I
Do you want to
guarantee
hear
it.
the hottest take
Never
of
know.
all time?
Yes. Give it.
Both conference finals are going to be sweeps.
Wow.
You
I
heard
bet
it?
you those 6 wings you just bet me on that they're not.
How about double or?
Doubler. So like, wait. So you would get double. I'd get nothing if it wasn't.
I'll bet you 12.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Scratch-
yeah,
no.
see,
No,
he knows-
nip
he knows-
that right in the butt.
He's realizing how bad of a bet that is already.
I just 100%
Wow, sweeps.
to my fucking bones that Vegas might get 1. Fine. I don't really care. I just am doing it for the takes. My bracket is completely shot. I don't give a fuck. Probably because I make picks like this. You know, it's one of those things.
Well,
I root for
yeah.
chaos.
Yes, you do. It's hilarious.
I love it. It's great. It makes things entertaining.
And then the one time he actually hits on it, he's like,
I told you. Yeah.
1 for 19. Let's go.
No one's gonna know it's only 19. 1 for
Let's go. You make enough noise. That's all people care about.
Yep. I think Vegas wins tonight.
That's how you get
You think so?
I think Vegas wins tonight.
I don't. Well, they don't. They say it's not a series until you lose at home, and Tampa's lost twice at home.
Mhm.
Washington's a tough place to play.
Yep.
And Washington
That's
is
why
just like the team from Destiny this year. There's always that one team. You
Yep.
know, Pittsburgh was the back-to-back last year.
Nashville was last. No, Nashville was last year with
That's true.
the Cinderella story as the
Yep.
8th seed. You thought no way they're gonna lose, and then they just ran into a better team.
Is Washington the Cinderella seed even though they won their division?
I think so. I still think so.
I think.
I
Well,
wonder if
no,
Vegas-
that's a great point, Tyler.
Vegas is always going to be the Cinderella team. They won their division, obviously, but I mean,
Team of misfits, man. It's a team of misfits. I love
Golden
them.
Misfits.
Golden misfits. I love them.
Actually, know it though. I would. I know it's That's some blasphemy. I'm not gonna even say that.
Oh wow.
I'm not
I
gonna
was
go
retracting
there.
statements.
I'm
Love
not
it.
gonna go there.
Love it.
Quick question before we get into. Well, did you say your predictions?
Yeah. I got Washington. Obviously, I'm gonna go Washington in 6, and only because I got to protect my bet.
Fair.
And then I got Vegas in 7.
Okay.
No?
Both sweeps. Bring out
Both sweeps.
Bring out the
Love it.
brooms.
Brooms.
Before we get into the trivia.
All right.
Looking into next season, what do we think? Do we think Vegas is gonna still be a playoff team? Do we think they're gonna have a little bounce back because of
Great question.
what do we think? I still think they're gonna make the playoffs
I don't want to predict
because they have the cap space to add players. That's the thing,
That's why I can't. I don't know
and
if
they
I
still
can
have so much assets via draft picks where they could trade for guys if they want to.
Can we really predict that right now though, without seeing off-season moves, free agency?
No,
It's
obviously
such a
not.
hard.
But it's
I mean, looking at assuming that a lot of things stay constant, why wouldn't you put them back in the playoffs?
especially the way that they match up against their division.
Plus, their arena's impossible to play.
Well-
I've been there. I've been there, and let me tell you, it absolutely shakes. It rattles.
Winnipeg had the best home record in the league, though.
Yeah.
Let's not forget.
Not far, probably behind. Vegas was probably not far behind. If
Yeah.
I had to guess.
Well, they were winning in the beginning of the season. They were winning all their games at home, and
Mhm.
that was just ridiculous. But you got to look at the teams that have missed the playoffs. Dallas, that could be easy rebound into the playoffs.
Yep.
Edmonton, you got to think them too. Calgary,
With
He-
Bill Peters, good system under their belt. If they get
Yeah.
a couple additions,
I mean-
Even the shit-tastic Coyotes looked not
Yeah,
fantastic. They looked decent in the second half.
Yeah,
When,
They had
when you're
40
once Niemi got his
48 points in
or
Ranta.
Ranta got his head out of his ass.
No, he was injured, and then he came back. And
Yeah,
in
head in
the
his ass.
2018 they had 47 or 48 points. So you double that. That's a playoff team
Yeah.
in the West because I don't know how much
Colorado
Colorado
had
had.
95.
Right, that's right there.
Yeah.
That's right there.
so you're saying they're going back in?
Assuming most things stay constant, yes.
Well, if everything stays constant, then yeah, obviously.
Most things, I'm saying, not everything. No, you can't. I mean, again, it's hard to predict
I
because
think Anaheim is going to have a bounce back next year. I think they're just too old. They got to figure out what they're
No,
doing.
no,
with-
you got to change your words. Bounce back means they're coming
Okay.
back.
What is it?
Downgrade?
no,
Or
like
Decline.
yes,
yeah,
that'd be.
Anaheim's going to have a decline.
I agree. I
Bounce out. How about that?
I
out
still
of
like
the
the
playoffs.
decor though. Getzlaf, he isn't slowing down really.
Corey Perry has though. That's
yeah.
huge.
Well, yeah, he hasn't
That's
been there the
usual-
past 2 years, but you have Raquel. You have the decor,
Gibson will probably be in like a
Gibson,
retirement home by next year because he's a Band-Aid. So I agree with Bob. They're
two
definitely
pulled grinds.
it-
and-
two pull groins
And
and
they
he's
got
done for the
Henrique
year.
for another year too. Is
No, I think-
depth centerman.
I think they take a step back next
What
year.
about San Jose?
I think they're right back in it next year again.
If they don't, well, we were talking about this when you were sleeping, I think, or what? When were we talking about? Were we talking about on the golf course,
could have been.
Kane,
great.
or was it you?
This
I don't remember who. So if it was you, I'm sorry.
Might have been
just
Greg.
calls me out about sleeping.
Could have been with Greg at
I think it was
Jerry's.
Greg.
Yeah.
What's up, Greg?
Oh, that Kane
is gonna
free-
test the
free
market.
agent market.
As much as
No, we
we
were talking about this Saturday too.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
they will. He will. And then I said he's gonna see that there's probably nothing really better, and then he's gonna come back.
for money wise, his location and like playing time, it's probably San Jose is the best bet. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, obviously someone can offer him a boatload, but
I don't think any team is gonna try and outspend another on Evander Kane though.
I think overall, except for JT, maybe Carlson, I don't think teams are not looking for that UFA anymore. They're not looking
No.
to spend 6 years, $6
No.
million on a guy.
No, and I don't think either of those guys end up in Vegas either. I couldn't see it happen.
Vegas was
I would love that. Man,
Jesus,
Carlson
I mean,
out
do
in
you see
Vegas.
Kane in Vegas?
Or Carlson?
No.
Eric?
I think it's literally like
I was putting like Kane
Oh,
with his
Kane?
off-ice
Oh,
issues.
Kane, no way he ends up in-
if I had to put odds on it because of this playoff run, I think it's like almost 90% Carlson is somehow staying in Washington. They're gonna figure
Johnny or Eric?
John.
John.
Eric isn't a free agent. He's got one more year left.
Yeah, but I
under
think he's
contract.
gotta get dealt in the
But
offseason.
it's basically gonna be one of those like, hey Eric, can you let us know by July 1? And you're either gonna resign with us, or we're gonna trade you by
they
the beginning
can't
of the
sign
season.
him till July 1. They can't have that conversation till July 1.
They could definitely have that conversation. They just can't put anything to paper.
Correct.
I don't think there's any like middling or anything like that. There's no rules against it. He's already on the team. He could just go out to lunch with Pierre Dorian whenever he wanted to.
Yeah, I guess so. As long as there's nothing official about
It'll,
it, I guess.
it'll be interesting to see. I think he's the big off-season guy, and JT obviously. But I don't think either of those guys end up in Vegas. So even if looking at it on paper, assuming teams make huge signings out west, I don't really see a lot of teams that could take from where they were this year and knock them down out of the playoffs next year.
I think both Johns are more likely to just re-sign with their teams.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Vegas.
Oh,
We were talking
I
about
was just
Vegas
talking about
was
the
going to
free
make the
agents
playoffs.
that were
No,
signing.
and then we went to free agency.
yeah.
with
you're behind.
Evander Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Why are you still talking about
You
Vegas?
were still going with. You were still talking about if San Jose was going to take a step back and then went to free agency.
Fair enough.
We were trying to figure out what teams would step back to let Vegas out of the playoffs or
I
stay
do-
in the playoffs.
But no,
Out of
then we
everyone that
moved
made the
on from
playoffs
that.
this year, though, I think Anaheim and San Jose are the most susceptible to not making the playoffs next season.
In the Central, yes. I'd agree.
I think just in general.
Well, Anaheim's not in the Central, first of all.
But yeah, they're in the Pacific.
Or the Pacific, that's what I meant. And so is
Sounds right.
Because I think Arizona are going to be really fighting.
Yep.
You could just tell by watching their games. I'm a big Clayton Keller fan, American,
yeah,
and I like the way he plays.
Hell yeah.
I started watching Arizona
yeah.
games towards the end of the season, also because I had Antti Ranta and Clayton Keller on my fantasy teams, and I picked up Oliver Ekman-Larsson a few times at the end of the season.
She's huge Arizona guy over here.
They were getting me a lot of
I
points,
know,
man. They were
I know, I
winning.
know.
Ranta and Keith Kincaid were the two hottest goalies the last third of the season. I had to pick them up.
I know.
They
It wasn't
They-
the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter.
You're 100% correct, but
Jeez,
they
Jack
definitely got that system working, and they went from slow to fast. They had the worst away, like the first half of the season. They had the most away games out of any other team in the league. So they played a lot of home games at the end of the regular season.
You got Tocchet. Give Tocchet another year. Look at Bernard. He had a awful.
Well,
first
that's what
year.
we're hoping Housley does. Is
Give him a year in the system. Give him a year to learn the guys,
Mhm.
learn the how the players work with each other. Like, it takes
I
some
think
time, man.
isn't Oliver Ekman-Larsson a free agent this year too?
next year.
Next year? Is
It's
it the
hi-
same
it's him-
situation as Carlson?
Him, Doughty, Carlson, next year.
Wow, some heavy hitters.
Sagan.
All of
Also
them are
there's one
staying.
more.
I'd bet you 6 wings right now that all those guys stay. Well, not Carlson. He's gone.
Johnny or Eric? We got
Drew Doughty's gonna stay he's gonna stay in
Talk about
LA.
it 2 years from now.
Toronto can't afford him.
No.
He's like that's the only place he would go, and they can't afford him unless they would trade for him,
Yeah.
which they don't want to.
Oh yeah, and then I mean, even
And
if you trade,
I think
for
Oliver
him,
Ekman-Larsson
don't-
is staying. Arizona
he
is
likes it.
really on the up,
Yeah, and I mean, Ekman-Larsson's just been there, so I mean,
and it's crazy to think like he's only 26, 27.
I think he was 09 draft or 08, one of those 2 years.
He's
yeah,
I think he's a
26
year older
or-
than us because
26 or 27.
he would just be going to UFA next summer,
Yeah,
so he'll be turning 27 next season. Correct?
something like that. Well, it depends on
Sounds
how
about
long his contract
Mm.
is
Right.
to sign.
Sounds about right though.
But yeah, I mean,
I guess we'll
I
have to
think
see.
that's it.
We'll see. We'll be doing summer content where we'll be talking about this stuff. So, I guess it is time for
Bobby's trivia, and he's got a little mix for us, I think. Is that
no.
it?
I'm just gonna play.
Oh.
Uptown Girl by Billy Joel. It was the first thing I saw on iTunes. Uptown Girl. Okay.
That's it.
20,
Get it,
20 seconds. You know, a little fade in, fade out.
Okay.
I'll close my phone, my laptop,
What are we starting with?
whichever you guys want to start with.
Kyle, I'll leave it up
Hit
to you.
me. Did Greg text either of you back for trivia questions?
I think he
I-
did, but I wasn't paying attention.
I-
But it wasn't with a question. It was, am I too late? Yeah, you're too late. By the time he texts back.
Should have been here, Greg.
Should just been here, yep. Let's go. I'm going to go non-hockey.
All right, I'm starting to hockey.
You want to go first or me?
No, you. You can
All
go.
right. I gave him. I think this is actually a layup, and it already could have been asked.
We shall see.
But the only reason I did this because I don't want to have to be on trivia next because I'm dumb as shit.
Come on, you gotta get next. It's gotta come back to me. All right. It
So-
all started with me.
True,
It's
it
gotta
did.
come back to me.
True.
I need my trivia. I
True.
want to get tested.
So, Bob, the question is, how many dots are there on 2 dice?
Oh.
You got to put a time limit on this at least.
100.
Really? That high? Wrong.
60?
42.
Oh,
I don't know how you would. I think you'd have to figure that out by just.
because it's 1.
12.
Oh, it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just
42.
yeah.
There's 21 on each.
I didn't even think about doing the math in my head because that
that's
would
not good. That was supposed to be a layup, Bob. Not great, Bob.
I don't have Microsoft Excel in front of me, and I'm not a degenerate gambler wheeling with dice.
True.
Little crabs. Gotta go
You
to
know, I
Vegas.
might be now with all this Supreme Court ruling.
Oh.
Oh, wait now.
All right. So my turn.
Yep.
I guess. So this day, U.S. history. What 2 explorers set off on their epic adventure?
And they had a third because they had the Native American girl with them, right?
He's not giving you any clues.
I know. Fuck me. Is Clark the second name?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Because they were doing all the topography stuff. They were mapping out the country. I want to say it's like Williams or something like that. It's not, though.
No.
I don't remember the first guy.
You don't remember?
No.
It's Lewis.
Lewis and Clark. Ah, I knew it.
Wrong.
Wrong. 042.
Well, I'm surprised you got the second name. I guess I always lead with the first name and then Lewis and Clark.
I always go, I don't know. It's just like, I remember the second one. You know?
The number 2 guy.
Well, what was the Native American girl's name? Do you remember?
No idea.
She was on that golden dollar that we had. That was out for about like a decade.
Pocahontas.
No.
Pocahontas. That's
No.
what I was going to say. Nope, not true.
No.
Wait, hold on.
I was banking on getting the non-hockey ones right.
Not great.
Sacagawea.
Sacagawea, thank you.
Yeah. Tyler, you go first with your hockey question.
Okay. So, there's been 3 players who has played in an NHL game after they were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Can you name these players?
All 3's got a name?
3.
Wow.
Gordie Howe,
Yes.
Wayno.
Wrong.
Give me one error. Give me one error. How about? I don't know. Mario.
Yes.
Can you give me a decade on the third? Decade.
Okay.
The Rocket Richard.
No.
Okay then.
Guy Lafleur.
Wow.
Why him?
He came back. He played for Montreal his whole year, or his whole career. Came back after 3 years.
3?
I think he sat out 3 years, and he played for the Rangers, I want to say. Or was it Nordiques?
I never would have guessed that.
Couldn't told you.
I never would
I
have
know.
guessed that.
I knew you were going to get 2. On the third one.
I'm just surprised they were just like, Wayno.
No.
You're
Nah,
in.
you're in.
You're in.
Well, he was the first person to abduct.
Do you know that he has the most shorthanded goals of all time?
Yes. 92.
Do you know that?
Yes, I did. I could have told you how many. But. All right, Bob. I'm going to give you a little bit of a break on this one.
Oh,
Okay.
layup.
So, it's not a layup. It's definitely not a layup. And then it might have already been asked in the pod for all I know. Who knows? But so, you got to have – there's 2 players that hold the record for the most goals in one playoff season. Name one of the 2, and actually we'll leave the number of goals out. But I might give you – I may give you a bonus if you can name – or maybe I'll give you an option just if you get
Is Wayno one of them? No?
No.
How? Doesn't he have the most goals of all time?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. How about the number of goals in a playoff season? Can you name that? If he gets it, we will give it to him. But
Is Jake Gensel one of them?
No,
He was on fire last
he
year.
was. He might.
If he played to the Stanley Cup Finals, he probably could have.
Shifley could have a chance too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
27.
Oh wow.
Oh,
She's goes
Too high?
Way too high.
Well, there's a lot more scoring back then.
19.
19.
Yari Curry and Reggie Leach. Yari Curry though played with Gretzky.
I would never would have gotten. I don't even know who Reggie Leach is.
Me either.
Me neither. It was just what the question said,
It's almost harder to do it when there's only 4 questions. The odds
Yeah.
are against you.
Yeah.
So
Well.
I will gladly just wait till it comes back around. I'm really disappointed in myself with Lewis and Clark. I'm beating myself up about it.
Great.
I was going to be
Great,
a
grand,
history major in undergrad. Obviously, I'm not.
She got a cam on here. Phone a
Those are
friend.
hard questions.
Not really.
No,
I don't remember your first one. So.
it was the number of dice.
Oh, right.
The number
No,
of
that's
dots
just
on a dice.
stupid. If you would have let me, give me like 15 minutes and do.
15 minutes. Oh my
Sick
lord.
count.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
So it's 12 plus 10 plus 8
You could do it that way too.
plus
1 plus 2 is 3.
Plus 6.
yeah,
Plus
that's
4
the
plus
one.
2.
Yeah.
You could
Plus
do it.
4.
Yeah. You could do it
10.
that way.
Plus
You could
5,
do it that way
15.
too. I never even thought of that. Yeah. You could do it a lot of ways. So.
Or just add them all up and times it by 2.
All right. Well, guys, we are sub 1 hour for
Go.
first time in a while.
No Greg. No
You're
tangents.
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. And I don't really have an outro song.
I don't know. I don't know what you got on your phone.
No, I'm just in my recently played. It's not that big of a deal. We don't need music to end it. We could just end it with, guys, check us out on YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Subscribe. Give us a like.
Comment.
Comment. Whatever. Follow us on Twitter. Sticks, capital N, Bears. Go to sticksandbeers.com for anything Sticks and Beers related. Check out Coach Tony's hot sauce. Hopped and brewed, right?
Hopped and brewed.
Hopped and brewed. You can get Coach Tony's hot sauce at all local grocers. What about Hopped and Brewed?
I do not believe they're in anything, but you can check out their website. You can order off of there. They're based out of Avon, I believe. So
Cool.
they shipped it to us. It came here in, 2 days. Thank you for that again.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Shout out to
Appreciate it.
Jeremy hooking us up. But
With that, guys, any last words before?
Tampa for the comeback.
Wow.
Bold statement. Guys, it's been real.
It's been fun.
But it hasn't been real fun.
We'll see you next time.
Foot.